Hey everybody, and welcome back to Trekyards. I'm Captain Foley,
And I am Connor Collins.
and today we're going to be talking about a Star Trek legend. That's right, the incredible, amazing Jeffrey Combs has done it again. He's added another Star Trek character to his repertoire. Pleasant Fountains Lie, that's the episode, yeah. So he plays an evil supercomputer, an AI, which is great.
The pantheon of Combs.
Exactly, yes.
Although, though you said that, it just occurred to me that maybe there's also a commentary on Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Picard being reliant on the idea of evil AIs for their big grand stories. And so they were so big and powerful in those stories, and then in Lower Decks, which makes commentaries on many things, A, it's ineffective, and B, there's literally a storage locker filled with them, which sort of shows the silliness of using them in Discovery and Picard. Which I didn't.
And one of them has a CBS logo.
It's got to be a little bit there, because sentient AI is kind of a big thing in Discovery. You know, makes control feel a bit less powerful if there's literally a locker filled with them.
Well, they were all failed ones, I guess, because they all got captured and locked up, so...
I mean, Combs controlled planet for 100 years.
That's true.
Is that a
That's
failure?
true.
I'd call that quite a success until they rebelled and they BSG'd it. But the opposite, I guess, Silence rebelled. But yes, Evil Computer, definitely the largest performance of a legacy actor we've had so far by a pretty substantial mile. We've had Robert Duncan McNeil, we've had J.J. Hertzler, we've had Marina Sirtis, and we've had John Delancey and Jonathan Frakes. None of them have had more than maybe a page of dialogue in any given one episode. Whereas Combs easily is the third wheel to their story and makes an impact.
Yeah, the J.J. Hertzler one was kind of disappointing because, he played the Martog, of course, and a few other aliens, as well as another Klingon in Enterprise. So his like, one appearance as like a starship captain with like one line was great, but yeah, I'm glad they gave Jeffrey Combs something to sink his teeth into a little bit. Although you could tell it was just Combs being Combs. He wasn't really putting on any kind of special voice or anything for it. But I mean, I really enjoyed it. So.
Well, I'm sure if you were to edit the Combs aliens back to back, they'd sound mostly like most of them just sound like Jeffrey Combs, but with makeup. So I don't know if I'm not gonna. It's nice how much energy he was able to present through just his voice. That came across. The friendliness of this clearly evil AI was a success in my book, I think.
Yeah, well, I got a weird ear for that kind of thing. Like when Robert Duncan McNeil showed up on Lower Decks, to me he didn't sound like Tom Paris. I even going back and listening to it, a lot of people say they definitely hear Tom Paris. I don't, but yeah, you could definitely tell who was voicing the AI, which I thought was good.
Well, I mean, he's not going to sound like he did 20 years ago.
No, I know.
So
but...
if you're looking for that exact cadence, then that is literally gone. It's like Shatner; he can never be a young Shatner again. So, but I guess the disparity of him looking, in theory, a year or two after Voyager versus him being actually 20 years older. If he was in Picard, I don't think that was much of an issue because he is older.
I'll be seeing the actor as well on screen. A lot of times with voice actors that are animated, I don't hear them the same way. I don't know. It's just my brain just doesn't quite link it. I don't know. I'm got a bad ear for that kind of thing. So, but no, I think it was great to have him back. I mean, he's definitely a legacy Star Trek character actor. So yeah, I mean, hopefully they'll have more stuff for him. I would like to see maybe one of his alien versions return at some point. So
Yeah, and like I said, the performance was definitely as close to a standout in the episode. Mostly because the episode itself was medium key. There wasn't any, even the mum wasn't hamming it up too much, and so the fact that he was, was kind of going for it was a standout. Although that character is in essence a joke within a joke. It's a meta commentary, and almost every other line is "all plug me into that computer, please." So it is a very one note joke. Luckily, the way they played it, and this shows good writing, that it was varied enough, situational enough, and there was little nuance around it to not get overdone, because it was very close to getting overdone of that's all it could do. But obviously in the sense of the scene, you need to have that level of disparity between the potential of what the character can do and what they can actually do, because they're just in a little box. Yes, it might have tendrils that can maybe choke somebody if you really wanted to, and yes, as a projector, but it can't do anything. It needs to be connected to something else, so it works quite well actually to have that. And then obviously the moment it has power, it has control, strong moment, strong thing. I would like to see it return. I think it's a easy catalyst to say, well, we need to go back. It was like in Thor: The Dark World, you need to use Loki, even though he's in prison, to do X, Y, and Z. And so, we need to use this computer because it has a unique tracer program, and then you have to plug it in. But you have to, maybe maybe you can de-evil it, and then it becomes the next peanut hamper.
Well, he did delete all his manipulative subroutines he wanted to join Starfleet, but that's just him trying to be clever and get out of the situation.
But he played it with sincerity, which I appreciate. There's a certain, but as with a lot of these villains, quote unquote, unless they're invented there on the spot, they had to be successful for years, decades, and this guy 100 years, this alien 100 years. So to have it be totally ineffective the entire episode goes against the pure nature of, well, it was successful for 100 years. So, the fact that it was somewhat convincing, even though obviously we knew it was an evil computer, it felt semi like, okay, I could buy that if I didn't know who it was. If I was just walking in and it was talking to me, the acting was so effective, but it's also evil.
But you gotta wonder how smart it was, actually, because it was just plugged into... It was plugged into the ship, thought it had access to everything, and it didn't. Like, Boimler tricked it, which I thought was kind of weird, because, they plug it in, everything fires up. You'd think it would start accessing everything and know what it has control of. So I don't think Boimler had enough time to really jury-rig anything that would trick it.
My assumption, and this is, the comedic slant, is that the computer was so thrilled by its actions, it started its monologue. And its monologue distracted it, as with many other villains in many other films. But you're right, the time frame between A to B is kind of... It implies 5 to 10 minutes, but it would totally have already checked the engines, checked the weapons, checked the life support, maybe even killed him with life support turning off in that time. So if it was under a minute, that's fine, but it's a bit quick, so... Yeah. It would have been funnier if there was a secondary layer to it, maybe I don't know what one could do, but, another level of trickery there. But the dimmer switch gag was certainly a good payoff. Then obviously at the end, like we said, we get this big reveal of the archive of evil AIs, which, we did see them in TOS. This is a good conceit. And the fact that Starfleet and Boimler and Mariner said earlier on, it's a sentient entity, which is a very clear distinction of AI being sentient, which kind of makes the slavery of all the data people in Picard even more out of kilter. But I mean, Picard is out of kilter, so what do you expect?
Yeah.
But there's, that it has rights and they can't kill it, even though this thing kills millions, takes over planets. But they have literally a lock of... Imagine if that shit got loose. Are you kidding? The amount of just devastation 130 evil sentient master computers would do.
We kind of talked about that. I mentioned that in our review, was what happens if there's a natural disaster and something happens and all the AIs collapse and they form into this one large Godzilla type monster. That's super intelligent. Yeah, I don't think their goals would jive with each other, because they're all arguing essentially. But anyway, it was interesting.
I definitely would like to see that come back. The fact they introduced literally unlimited AIs means you could play that game and you have multiple legacies return. And there's a good chance that you even do a double act of the Jeffrey Combs and maybe Armin Shimon, who played Quark, to come back, and they play. Their two AIs have got quite friendly during the course of the imprisonment, and now they're a double act, and it's what?
and then to top it all off, the CBS one just ruins everything for everybody because it's doing not what it's supposed to do. That'd be hilarious. Anyway, guys, I think that's it for this. Let us know what you thought about the AI computer and Jeffrey Combs returning. I think it was great to have him back. He's definitely somebody that they need on Star Trek. So that was great to see. So put your comments down below, like the video, subscribe to the channel, do all that fun stuff. Make sure you're notified, because we do lives all the time where we talk about this kind of stuff. We love this.
We love the little breakdowns, the discussions, and we are eagerly waiting for more people to come in from other shows and lend their vocal talents. A bit more than a cameo, please, because you tease. And of course, support this channel if you can and want to over a Patreon, which is a monthly thing. Join the YouTube channel again monthly, one-time donation via Super Chat or PayPal. You'll help amazingly well. Or just like, subscribe, like Stuart said. It all does mount up and make a difference. If you can do one thing, do one thing. If you can do all of them, well, hey, check the comments and I'll check the description. There's a few things you can do.
That's right.
Yeah.
So until next time, guys, I'm Captain Foley.
And I'm Connor Hungs.
And we have no sentient computers around here. Unfortunately, we just have what's in front of us. But, you know, we make it work. So until next time, guys. See ya.
Bye, guys.